Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Senzeni Ndlovu, and I'm looking forward today to sharing this exciting topic with you. Deactivating destructive tendencies. But what are tendencies, someone may ask? Well, tendencies are things we are inclined to do, things that we like to do, or things that we can't help ourselves but do them. What I want you to understand about tendencies is that tendencies are not all bad. Tendencies become destructive when they make you unhappy. Whatever makes you unhappy is destructive. It destroys your joy, your peace, your happiness. It creates stress and worry. And we all know that stress and worry are not good because they lead to several things like illness in our body. What I want you to understand is that life is meant to be fun. And whatever makes life less fun is destructive. Well, destructive tendencies could be something as simple as lack of self-esteem, for example. Somehow you always feel like you don't make a cut. You are either too thin, or you are too big, or you are not as smart as other people. These are kind of things that we have, and when we think about, they make us feel bad about who we are. These are destructive tendencies. Destructive tendencies could be things as complex as and as devastating as persistent failing in jobs, for example. Destructive tendencies could be constantly associating with people who are abusive and who constantly hurt you. And you find yourself that somehow you are always attracted to these people. And after a few months, you always go through the same thing. They hurt you, they disappoint you. These are destructive tendencies. Destructive tendencies could be constant backbiting and squabbles in the families. And destructive tendencies sometimes go as far as saying, I know that my father went through the same thing. I'm going through the same thing. My brother is going through the same thing. These are destructive tendencies. Destructive tendencies could be things that we experience, and you could say, my mother went through this, my sister went through this, my siblings went through this. These are destructive tendencies. Somebody could say that, my parents have divorced and I hated it. I am married today, but somehow I can see that my marriage is going the same way. These are destructive tendencies. Somebody could say that my father was abusive to my mother and to my siblings, and as much as I hate it with passion, I somehow seem to be going the same route. These are destructive tendencies. Somebody could say that my family, that is my uncle, my aunts, my cousins, my brothers and sisters, are prone to alcoholism, and I hate it. But somehow, my life seems to be going the same route also. These are destructive tendencies. Destructive tendencies could be things like where somebody observes in their family that, every girl at the age of 16 falls pregnant. Or somebody could say that, destructive tendencies in my family is that everyone has an uncontrollable temper. Destructive tendencies could be things like somebody will tell you that, in my family, one cannot keep a job for more than 28 days. Something happens. All these are destructive tendencies. And if you don't get to their roots, they will always perpetuate. And that is why I'm talking to you tonight about destructive tendencies, or deactivating rather destructive tendencies. We need to understand that we all face mishaps now and then in our lives. And this is a normal part of life. Life is random. Things don't always go well. Sometimes things go bad. But if things repeat and persistently and perpetually happen, these are destructive tendencies. I want to ask you a question. Do you have some destructive tendencies in your life? In order to better understand the roots of these tendencies, there are several things that I want you to understand the roots of these destructive tendencies. Where could they be coming from? What could be causing them? But before I delve deeper, there's a first thing that I want you to understand. If you choose to focus on unhappiness, If you choose to focus on people who've hurt you, you'll realize that that grows bigger and bigger as you focus on it. This is a law of life. We realize that what we constantly worry about happens in our life. For example, if you are one person who knows that somehow you are unlucky, somehow things never work for you, somehow there's a way that things will always never work for you. The other thing that I want you to understand is that what you hate with passion tends to be drawn to you. The same is true with what you love with passion. It seems to be drawn to you. And that means that if you have somebody that you know that has done something to you, that you hate, that you constantly think about, that is constantly in your mind, that can become a destructive tendency. What I want you to know is that what we complain about and what we always talk about is somehow drawn to us. The second thing that I want you to understand when it comes to deactivating destructive tendencies is that our experiences, especially those that are traumatic, sometimes leave an indelible mark in our mind, or correctly put, in our subconscious mind. Somebody may ask, what is the subconscious mind? The subconscious mind is part of our mind that many don't think exists. It is part of your brain that runs your body system. It controls your breathing rate, your breathing pattern. It runs a complex analysis that runs your immune system. It keeps you alive and healthy. Now, the fact that you are not aware of your subconscious mind doesn't make it not to exist. I know that this is a complex subject, and that is why I will suggest that when you have a moment, Google the word subconscious mind and read on this. It is very eye-opening and intriguing, and each and every person needs to understand this. It is key. In fact, you will understand how certain things happen in your life. What I would like you to know here is that sometimes our experiences are recorded in our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind is constantly working against us. The subconscious mind is powerful and limitless. It can serve you positively or negatively, depending on the messages that is hardwired to it. What I want you to understand is that if they keep repeating themselves, if they keep happening to you, then the cause of this could be your subconscious mind. So it means that something could have happened in your life in the past. Somebody could have hurt you. You could have went through an experience, and that experience somehow is hardwired in your mind. So it means that somehow it makes you think in a certain way. If something, for example, happened that traumatized you as a child, and let's say it was caused by a man. So each time you see men, you have the same feeling of anger, of disappointment, of feeling unsafe. That happens when something is hardwired in your subconscious mind. And it in fact goes deeper in saying that sometimes you are set such that you attract these people in your life. There's people who will tell you that somehow in my life, I always attract abusive men. Somehow in my life, I always attract abusive friends. Somehow in my life, I always attract people who take me through things that make me sad, that disappoint me. And I've lost faith in people. And this happens to me time and time again. And some people will tell you that you are bad luck. Some people will tell you that you are bewitched. But the source of that, ladies and gentlemen, is your subconscious mind. And how things get hardwired in your subconscious mind is that you experience something and you're very emotional about it and you're very sad about it and you don't deal with it. If you don't deal with it, it can stay in your subconscious mind, and somehow your subconscious mind keep perpetuating, keep producing the same results. So that's the second thing that I want you to understand. Traumatic experiences in our life, if they are not dealt with, they leave an indelible mark that puts a limit in our life. The third thing that I want you to understand about this subject, or on this subject of deactivating destructive tendencies, is that what defines you confines you. Well, how do you see yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Think carefully, because the answer to this question is very important. Because you will realize that you are how you think you are. If you feel like you are a loser, you will always lose. If you feel like you are always a winner, you will always win. Now, there is no difference between winners and losers. That is, if you see somebody who's a winner and somebody who's a loser and they stand in front of you, you will not see any difference. But what makes the difference is how they think. Now, because losers expect to lose, when they lose, they give up and they quit. Winners lose also. But the difference between winners and losers is that winners expect to win. And therefore, if they don't win, they keep trying, they keep knocking, they keep testing, and they don't give up. When losers, because they expect to lose, they give up. What I want you to understand is that you were designed to be a good leader. You were created to be a good lover. You were made to be a good father, a good wife, a good friend, a good son, a good daughter. We, ladies and gentlemen, are created for greatness. If you believe it, and you will have it. Don't let your past define you. That's your parents, your background, your circumstances that you grew up in. Don't let those limit you. Don't let your parents define you. So meaning that because your father and mother went so far in life, therefore you cannot move further. You can change your generation. You can change your family line. You can change your bloodline by applying yourself differently. So don't let your parents define you. Don't let people define you. Because people will tell you that we know you. You can do 1, 2, 3, but you cannot do 1, 2, 3. Don't let people define you. Let your dream define you. Let your ideals define you. Let your goals define you. Don't let your husband define you. Don't let your wife define you. Don't let people limit you. Don't let your colleagues define you. Because if they can define you, they can confine you. What I want you to take out from this message today is that you have everything you need. You have the ability, you have the wisdom, you have the power to change your life and live the life that you want to live. You can rise as higher as you believe. Don't allow people to confine you. Don't allow your experiences to confine and define you. Because somebody will tell you that I've tried 1, 2, 3 and it never worked. So you need to continue trying, continue trusting, continue believing in possibilities. What defines you confines you. You are born for greatness, and believe in that and seek that and pursue that. The last thing that I want to talk to you about now is, somebody may ask, but how can one deactivate destructive tendencies? The first thing that you need to do to deactivate destructive tendencies is, first of all, to identify the tendency. Does it exist? Is there things in your life that repeats themselves? Is there consequences or experiences that you go through that constantly repeat themselves? Identify if you have a destructive tendency. But once you've identified this tendency, you need to start affirming what you'd like to be. So what I'm saying to you is that you need to override destructive messages in your subconscious mind. But how do you do that? You do that by affirming what you'd like to be, what you'd like to have, what you'd like to achieve. Your subconscious mind works on repetition. So it means that what you constantly repeat, either verbally or silently in your mind, you will experience. And what I'm saying to you, that if you believe that you are a loser, your subconscious mind will work to make sure that it proves that you are a loser. The same thing is true if you believe that you are a winner. Your subconscious mind will always work to ensure that you are a winner. So what you repeat constantly happens in your life. What you repeat with emotion happens to you, whether it's good or bad. And that is why we have good and bad in the world. I said that firstly, you need to identify your tendency. You need to start affirming what you would like to be. The third thing that you need to do, you need to choose to forgive. Forgive everyone that might have hurt you in your life, in your family, your friends, your spouses, that is husbands and wife. Forgive them. And you need to understand that forgiveness is not about them, it's about you. So if you hate somebody, it hurts you. So choose today to live a higher life. Choose to forgive. The fourth thing that you need to do is that be appreciative. Have a sense of gratitude. Highlight and celebrate good things in your life today. I know that there's people who are feeling like they are not going anywhere, but what I want to tell you is that each and every person listening to me right now has blessings in their lives. You have things that you can be grateful about. You have things that you can be thankful about. You have things that you can celebrate in your life. Something as simple as being able to see. Something as simple as being able to have friends. Something as simple as being able to do what you like to do. The freedom, the peace. So celebrate the good things in your life. And what happens? As you celebrate good things, you realize that more good things happen to you. But if you choose to focus on negative things in your life, then they are destructive. Then they limit you. Then they put a lid on what you can be and what you can achieve. Life is full of possibilities. Success is possible. Greatness is possible. But you need to understand that there are certain destructive tendencies that need to be deactivated. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Senzeni Ndlovu. It was a pleasure talking to you. Please feel free to visit us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or alternatively, visit our homepage on www.senzenindlovu.com to find out more about how we can be of service to your organization. Thank you.